Hello, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel, and today I'd like to talk about my own personal regimen of manifestation and my system that I use for myself to constantly see manifestations, to increase my faith, and to bring that excitement into my world. So from the very moment I first saw a manifestation, which was back in 2011 when I had gotten into the Bible, it blew my mind because I did not know that I could manifest. I had no idea, and I'm sure like many of you who have heard about this recently and who are starting to see results, I had no idea I could imagine something and it could come to me. I thought that this whole world was dictated by force and willpower, but I was so wrong. And so when I came upon manifestation, I became obsessed immediately. Because if what I was reading was true, and if what I was experiencing was true, then there were no possibilities to the things that I could imagine and manifest. So from then on, I made it a point to revolve my life around understanding how to manifest, what I can manifest, and tracking my proof. I come from a scientific background, computer science. In college, I took computer science, math, physics, and so all of this stuff to me was pure nonsense until I had systematically proven it to myself. And now that I have systematically proven it to myself, there's no one at all that can ever disprove it, right? I went from a state of hopelessness and despair to the state that I'm in now, which is a pretty damn good life. And it's all solely through imagining. I don't use my willpower anymore. Rarely I do. I'm not perfect, so at times I do. But generally, everything that exists in my world right now is through manifestation. This very place that I live, the living that I make, even the laptop that I have, this camera that I have, it's all through manifestation. So over the years, I had, one of the keys is faith, right? Is faith, because without faith, I'm not going to try this. So to develop my faith is what I found was critical asset to myself. And now having built that faith, I kind of want to teach you how I did that and how I continue to do that. Because I still use the same system that I did when it first started working years ago until this very moment. So here it is. When I wake up in the morning, the very first thing that I do is I imagine myself at the end of the night looking at the ceiling as if I'm in bed and saying to myself, wow, today was so amazing. I saw so many miracles. That's the very first thing that I do the instant I wake up, and it puts my thinking on a different plane, and it sets into motion that desire that by the end of the night, by the end of the day, I will have said that to myself, which means that a bridge of incidents will unfold that will lead me there, which means that I will have to see manifestations. After that, I get up, I do what I do, I go to work. On my way to work, or I used to go to work, on my way to work, I would have an inner conversation, right? An imaginal inner conversation with a friend regarding a desire that I want. So whether it be a conversation with, say, my sister about how I'm so grateful that I have 100,000 subscribers, and her saying, I know, it's amazing that you have 100,000 subscribers. And then I would again say, I know, I'm so happy. It's amazing. That's like literally what I would do to a T. And any number of inner conversations on my way there. Or I will daydream about something. Just imagining, always in the end, when I get to work, I get in and I write that list that I speak about. I write a list of any number of things, 5, 10, 15, 20, doesn't matter. Any number of things that I desire to see manifested. And I write them in this nature. I have received a free cup of coffee. I stay with friends all around the world. An old friend messages me. Someone dreams of me. Any number of things, anything at all, big, little, doesn't matter. I don't spend much time doing this, meaning I do not explicitly spend time imagining each thing. I write them as is. That thought in and of itself, that intentful action of writing and immersing myself in the text, which is what you do when you write anything, is enough to plant seeds in the subconscious mind or to impress the subconscious mind. And then those will later be manifested. Whether that day, the next week, it doesn't matter. We can't tell when, but they are planted. And one thing I wanted to mention is that every single manifestation that unfolds, whether it's a sign, a manifestation, a synchronicity, any type of mystical experience, if I can, I write it down. I also have a dictating device, a recording device that I use. So anything that comes to pass, anything that I see, I take out my voice recorder and I'll record it down if I cannot write it. I enjoy writing better. I just do. So after that, my day starts going, right? By that time, I would have already seen 5 or so manifestations. Generally, by the end of my day, I've seen 10, 20, 30, or sometimes more, give or take, manifestations because of the action that I'm taking, right? I have an observing, there's like a mechanism that's always observing my thoughts, right? That's me, like after practicing this for some time, I am automatically watching my thoughts, and in the same likeness, I'm observing reality, not judging, not searching, and the same goes for my thoughts, not judging or searching, I'm observing. And I find the connection between my thought and the manifestation. And over time, this skill will be developed in you if you continue to persist in this. So anyway, after that, during my day, I'm listening to probably Neville Goddard, some lecture directed towards either techniques or stories. Stories excite me, and when I'm excited, I tend to imagine more, and I see my manifestations a bit quicker. So I'll do that. Or any topic as it relates to manifestation, mystical experiences, I will be listening to those at work or during the day in the background, just to get that excitement going, right? Any problem that arises whatsoever, anything, I always imagine for the end. Always. So even if there's an issue at work, meaning a problem that I have to solve, or I get a text message from someone who needs something, or I see someone on the street that looks like they need help, I am always imagining the end, because it's always an opportunity then in the future for me to experience the thing that I've manifested, right? And that's the key, is to be observant or cognizant of my thoughts and the world outside, so that I can constantly trace the two and prove that my imagination, my awareness, my assumptions, my moods, my feelings, they are all creating this reality. On my way home from work, I will have another inner conversation or a daydream. After that, I will, depending on what I do, right, give or take during my day, if there's something that I want, like these imaginal acts that I do during the day, the ones where I don't have time to go into a state akin to sleep, they sometimes are just as simple as, like, say there is a problem that needs to be solved in with a software that I'm writing. I will literally imagine for a second at the end of the day like this. I'll say, like, I'm so happy that today went so well and I got so much done, right? Done. That's what I do, as quick as that, and I carry on. A little bit of feeling in there, nothing extreme, but that's exactly what I do. I do that all day, and then anyway, on the way home, I will do, like I said, an inner conversation, or since I'm more awake at this time, if there is a place that I want to be, I will imagine driving there. So I bring there here. So say I wanted to go to, like, Rome. I do my research. I always do my research. I want to know exactly what I want, the definite chief aim of the thing that I want. I do research so that I can take these things and bring them into imaginal act. So if it was Rome, I would look up Rome, I would look up streets in Rome, and what I would do is I would take that, and as I'm driving, I would imagine as if I was driving there. So that's what I do on the way home. You know, and during the day, mind you, I keep in contact with people whom manifest. My friends, my best friends, they are people who manifest as well. People who are into the same things I'm in. Those are the only people that I talk to. I do not get involved in negative conversations. I do not watch the news. I do not have a Facebook wall. I have a plugin that on my computer that's Kill Facebook, I think it's called, or Kill the Wall or something. And it allows me to not even view that, right? So I have a Facebook group that I run, and I go in there and we talk about manifesting. So I'll read stuff, post stuff. This is what I do every single day. As you can tell, I've embedded this in my life completely, and for good reason, because it truly is the solution to every single problem in a miraculous fashion. After that, when I get home, at a certain time, I will revise my day. So if there's anything that has happened in my day that I could either make better, or something bad that happened that I can change, or anything that I even want to insert, I take a certain period of time and I contemplate my day and I figure out if there's something I want to change. And if so, like say for instance, today I got in an argument with a friend, I could then go into that scene, into my mind's eye in first person, and fix it. So literally, instead of the argument, I would just give that person a hug, right? Give them a hug and say, you're awesome, right? Pound it. That's done, right? This is not, it doesn't take a whole lot to see a big difference in your world. Once that's done, I'm doing whatever I'm doing too, right? I'm interacting with people, I'm hanging out with friends, whatever I'm doing. Like I said, I do not get involved in negative conversations. I do not discuss my desires with others. And the reason that is because if there is any shred of doubt within me, there's a possibility that it will be reflected on the person whom I'm speaking to. So just a tip, watch who you speak to your desires about. Make sure that they are supportive, they know what you're doing, and that way when you bring it up, they only have a positive reaction to you if you choose to bring it up to them. And then by the end of the day, if there's something that I want, right, so generally me, myself, right, I'll record a video, I'm contemplating this, I'm talking to people, I'm responding to emails. So, like I said, again, in this fully, before the end of the day, I will contemplate 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, however many big things, big desires that I have. If I have not already constructed scenes for them, I literally outline a scene. If I was now that person, if I could snap my fingers and I'm that person, what would I see? Where would I be? Who would I hear? What would I hear? Who would I be with? Any number of these things, I outline the scene in a condensed fashion, something short, something that would be a couple of seconds long. And then when I go to bed, and I do this with however many scenes, when I go to bed, I sleep on my side generally, right? So when I go to bed, I lay on my back. That way I do not fall asleep. And when I do that, I relax, I take some deep breaths, I count back from 300. I don't normally get there, right? I just count until I feel relaxed and I'm present, right? Because if I'm counting and I'm breathing and I'm focused on breathing and counting, then there's nothing in this outside world that I'm focused on at all. And that's the point, right? We have to shut off our senses completely. Any logic, anything that exists around us, just shut it off. When I do that, I materialize the scene, the one that I had outlined previously. I bring it before my mind's eye. I give it as much detail as I can. I feel the feeling of really being there. And if I catch the mood well, then I can drop it. If I catch the mood and I can drop it and I'm still awake, I can do another scene. And then another scene, and then another scene. Or I do one scene and fall asleep. Or I do 2 scenes and fall asleep. And just remember, all day long as my manifestations are unfolding, I'm writing these things down all the time, right? Trial and error, before and after, my desires, my fulfilled desires. Everything that I desire, everything that manifests, I write down. So I have my irrefutable proof to myself, which is the only one that matters in this case, because it's my faith, that my imagination creates reality. My thoughts create reality. My assumptions create reality. They dictate the actions of everyone that encounters me in this world. All the events that I encounter. Everything is rooted in me. And so everything that exists in me is manifested, right? And I just need to prove this on a regular basis. And by now, I've proven it, right? I know it 100% to the point where I'm teaching it to you. However, it is extremely critical that I stay in this because we are in a world that is filled with the contrary evidence, right? Evidence of the senses. And so it's just as easy to fall asleep if you don't stick with it, So make this rooted in your life. Make this regimented. Bring it into your life. Prove this to yourself. Even if you've proven it and mastered it, continue this so you can constantly get experiences. These are the manifested experiences in my physical reality. I also have a ton of mystical experiences that I encounter as well. But that's for another video. But anyway, I hope this was really helpful because I've been asked a lot about this. So I just wanted to share that with you. So if you like this, please scroll down, hit the bell icon, subscribe, go to the website sovereignmind.com, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.